following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of AJ Orsini, Deceive Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
Hello, everybody out there. It's your boy, AJ Orsini here yet again with another episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, episode 319. Your boy is on the ball right now, episode 319. I'm getting a lot better with the episodes since I've been editing so goddamn much. And do not let the question mark fool you, Dave. Are you with us?
I am. I am here. I want to give albeit a little behind, but I want to give a shout out to my very supportive wife, who, as I was running down the stairs, knew I was late, pointed to the bathroom. I ran over there. That's where I'm stationed. I'm stationed in a bathroom right now. But pointed to the bathroom. I ran in there where all my stuff was already set up because I haven't moved it. And I sat down only to be greeted with two thoroughly seasoned glizzies.
Oh no! What?
and some Coca-Cola, because I didn't need anything. So
well,
shout out.
You're stationed. You're stationed in the right place to be gobbling down some well-seasoned glizzies right now.
Oh boy,
it's an all-purpose setup,
man. It's always the worst, especially when they're behind a little bit, because it's like I'm not really gonna get a chance to eat. But she hooked me up, dude. So I'm here. I'm full. I'm ready to talk some shit.
Well, we do have some shit on the docket here. We went full bore SummerSlam for about 2 weeks there, maybe even a little more, because that's the big event of the summer. It's the big event for WWE. First time ever, history-making 2-night SummerSlam event. And now we're shifting into a different gear. We're still staying in the wrestling realm because so much has happened. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and just get into what we're going to be talking about here today.
Come on, don't keep us waiting. What's going to happen on the show today?
What's going to happen on the show today is this. We are here to talk about the breaking news, or at least it was literally 1 week ago. We completed our episode last week, released it, and then as soon as we released it, WWE made shocking news. They are joining forces with ESPN. They have signed a 5-year deal for their PLE packages to be sent through ESPN as opposed to the Peacock. Peacock's deal comes up in 2026, and they are already set up for the next person to get the rights, like the good little hoes that they are. So we're going to talk about what that means moving forward and, of course, how that affects us, the common folk. We're also talking about the return of Brock Lesnar. There has been nonstop chatter, and there seems to be two sides to the story. What side are you on? We'll find out later on here on the episode. Unreal has released several episodes, and it just so happens me and Dave happened to be at the same place at the same time when we watched episode 1. We haven't seen any of the other episodes just yet. We're only here to talk about episode 1 and make a solid decision at the end to see if we want to pursue this any further. And, of course, the big news. And I'm glad we're doing this on Tuesday because I was waiting to see what happened on Monday. And ooh-wee, this is going to add more fuel to the fire. Of course, we're talking about hashtag We Want Kross. There's a bigger picture at bay here, a bigger picture to be talking about aside from Karrion itself. And we will harp on all of that today. So while Dave takes an extra bite or two of his glizzy situation, let's go ahead, dive right into segment 1.
Let's begin segment 1.
We are starting off at the top. Dave, WWE and ESPN, did you ever think you'd see the day?
This was Vince's dream, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it really was. Well, you know what it was? Yes and no. Remember, sports entertainment as a term was created by Vince so that he can get away from the State Athletic Commission requirements, because WWE does not abide by the usual pro wrestling rules and laws of each particular state. Some enforce it regardless, but that's why he came up with that term. Here in New York, if I wanted to get a promoter's license, I have to abide by A, B, C, and D. They don't abide by those rules. They got taken to court for that, and that's where sports entertainment came from. We're sport, but not really. So this is kind of the best of both worlds. They're not lying about what they are, and they're still going to have the overall presence and strength of ESPN behind them. That's incredible. I never thought personally I'd see the day. Not even from WWE side, but from ESPN side. Like, what is that about?
Money is what it's about.
Oh, we're past it now. They're over it, right? They're just look.
The money, the business this man has to be doing behind the scenes is absolutely. Don't tell me he gets the reins for 2 years and we're seeing some of the biggest moves that WWE has made in years.
Well, I have to actually ask the question, because I know Triple H is the face of everything that's been happening. He's the one who went on to ESPN. He's the one who, shook the hands of Donald Trump. There's a lot of business decision being made. I know he's the front man for it, but I don't know if he's the one making those decisions. That's got to be TKO, no?
Yes and no.
Because ESPN's got the UFC thing going for him, so that's an easy connection. They've got a relationship.
Decision maybe, but it's his job. I believe it would be his job to present these things, to be a part of these deals, to it's one thing for them to go to ESPN and say, hey, we have this product. You have to be able to sell it to ESPN. Mm-hmm. Like, what do they get? Yeah, sure, it's big business, but ESPN is a brand in its own, and they obviously want to represent sports, and they want to represent they have an image.
Right.
So regardless if Triple H is the one that makes the big decision, I would imagine he's a big part on the direction that they take, being able to present, pivots they may be able to make the deal happen. Like, he's a big part of that.
Yeah. Definitely on the face side of things. Definitely, like, even if you don't follow wrestling and you're a big ESPN person, there's a good chance you know who Triple H is.
And again, the reason, remember, when they bought WWE, there was a reason why The Rock and Triple H are in the positions that they are in, because they're aware. What was the name of the company that bought it again?
TKO. Well, it's Endeavor,
TKO.
But they created a TKO umbrella. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. So they purchased it, but they were aware that it needed a particular set of skills to keep the train running the way that it should be. So they didn't go in with the idea of tampering with what they had going on. Obviously, there are rules that they need to abide by, but they still wanted to maintain the structure and give them control, which is why we have those two people at the face of it. So although, yes, I guess in turn we can say The Rock should be a big part of this, I would say even so, because of how busy The Rock is, I think Triple H is really the driving factor. Like, he's full-time, hands-on all day long. So they're relying on his expertise to bring the information, to bring the data, to bring the statistics, where we look like going forward, how are we scaling. Like, he's at the forefront of all of that. So I think he's a bigger part than people may even think he is.
I'm hearing a lot of mixed reaction concerning the move. And I think one of the biggest ones that made me kind of chuckle a little bit, and I think you can identify with this, is I think you know exactly what level of fan we're talking about. I think when WWE put their PLEs on Peacock, there was a little bit of a little bit of a pushback, but at the same time, at the time, it was a transferable fee, meaning the network was $9.99 and Peacock was $9.99 at the time. You could even do $4.99 for Peacock. If you wanted to go ad free.
Well, even more so, Peacock was being offered in most cable packages.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I had Peacock, but I never purchased it. It was just a part of my Verizon deal.
Right. But I think a bigger part, aside from the financial, was the fact that it was being put onto a streaming site that was more entertainment based. Movies, shows, they can kind of get into that. There's a large portion, I would say majority, of the people who are wrestling fans are not also sports fans. There's not a lot of people that I know in the industry, just as fandom, who are also sports fans. There's not a lot. It's very rare when I meet someone in the industry who both loves WWE or loves pro wrestling as a whole, but also enjoys football or baseball or soccer or whatever. And now they're adding these PLEs to a streaming site that looks a lot less attractive than Peacock did, because it's only going to be the PLEs. So do you want to pay, which is the next problem, that tiered price of $29.99 a month? Do you want to pay that $29.99 a month for the one thing that you may watch maybe once a month? I don't know if that's going to be worth it to a lot of people.
I actually see it going the other way. Because I find myself sitting here contemplating about it as well. It's like, it's flagging the interest. Like, literally, as you're talking, I'm sitting here like, okay, wait a minute. For that much, yeah, we're talking what would you say, $29.99 a month?
Yeah.
For a PLE. But what am I getting in ESPN? I don't know. I've never looked at it before. So I'm just coming from this perspective. I never thought to get the ESPN subscription. So what exactly am I getting? Because if I'm getting PLE and options to watch live football and options to watch basketball games that wouldn't otherwise watch, but I have the app now, so I'll just throw it on.
Right.
Especially when it's ease of access, right? Like if I just click the app, I go in there and look, NBA, boom, hit it. Like, sure, we all know the ease of access, but my brain is never thinking ESPN. I like sports, but not enough to go out of my way.
Right.
But I'll go out of my way for WWE. And if I'm already out of my way, I just opened a whole new world of sports that I am interested in. So
I know, but I think
I
think you're in a small percentile.
I don't think so.
The factor in your decision making is that you like sports. I just told you there's a lot of people who love wrestling who do not like sports, who are going to look at that and go, there's no need for me to get that package because I'm only doing it for the PLE. There's nothing else on that app that interests me at all.
I would be surprised. I think you would be surprised how many people, I guess you can call them closet fans of sports. Like, you would really never know. And probably would be open. Well, I probably will get it for wrestling anyway. But I guess I'm seeing it in a way of I'm paying for Peacock. I ain't looking at nothing on Peacock. I'm paying for ESPN. I'm more than likely going to watch something on ESPN. So for me, I think the move is better. It is a little bit more expensive. And who knows, maybe we can get it'll never happen. A good package with Comcast. Like you can put it into or Comcast or Verizon or those cables. Sometimes they do package deals.
Yeah,
That could be worth it. Some phone companies do package deals and stuff like that too. So that, I don't know. There's opportunity. Sure.
The opportunity has already been spoke. There's a lot of people who heard this news and got excited because their cable package already has the ESPN Plus, which means
that's fire.
Which means they're getting the pay-per-view for absolute fucking $0 more. They don't need it. For them, that's great. But for the people that I'm hearing from, as far as the negativity side of it, that's the bulk of the conversation, where it's just like, yeah, I want to watch the WWE pay-per-views, but I don't want to spend $30 for an app that I'm not going to use outside of that pay-per-view. Plus,
All right, go to your friend's house.
As somebody else just kind of mentioned, now with the PLEs on ESPN, and then Raw is on Netflix, NXT's on CW, and SmackDown is on USA, those are all paid subscriptions that people are now starting to go, oh, baby. Now, I'm not people. I'm cool with it. As soon as I heard this announcement, I started trying to think of any of the apps that I don't use. So I was like, which apps am I paying for that I either don't use at all or I use the least? And I came up with about 2 of the streaming sites that I could probably do away with, and that covers my 30. So I was like, oh, so I'm straight. So I'm just going to eliminate those 2, get the one, and just like you, I fall into the category, I love both. I love both. I love my sports and I love my wrestling, and now it's all going to be on the same fucking app. I'm with it 100%, me personally. But I do feel for the individual who only, for some people, the wrestling is really the only sport, quote unquote, that they actually do enjoy. There's a lot of people out there who love wrestling but don't really love all the other stuff that goes with it. At least with Peacock, or even CW or USA or any of those other things, when you subscribe to those channels, you're getting something else that you like. Movies, shows, whatever the fuck. Documentaries. I'm a documentary buff. You get into that stuff. This is going to be strictly sports. And I don't mean strictly sports as in it's just going to air games. You and I know that these apps are out of control. You got documentaries, you got behind the scenes, you got talk shows, podcasts. It's these ESPN apps now are just as flexible as all the other apps, but their predominant source of content is sports. And I think that hurts. I don't think that helps. I don't know too many people who are going to go, well, I've been kind of on the fence about it, but now that I know that I can include a playoff game and fucking the upcoming pay-per-view, like, there's not many people out there like that. There's not a lot going on with that. And as far as, I want to turn it back to the ESPN side of things before, because you had you had said a comment earlier where you were like, well, what does ESPN get out of this? And you made mention of for the additional subscribers of the people who might have been on the sports fence and now they're being put into a corner where they have to make that call. Yeah, they're going to get a lot of those. They're going to get a lot of new subscribers from that side of it. Not as many as I think people are hoping for, but they are going to get their fair share of that. I think the even bigger positive for ESPN is that there's going to be a lot of people who are the other way, who are huge sports buffs, who probably heard about the wrestling stuff but never actually saw it and was never going to go out of their way to see it. Now they're going to get a little notification, a little bloop on their phone. Hey, Survivor Series is this Sunday. You never know. Some of them might click over. Some of them might take the chance and give it a shot. You never know. That's what happened with Peacock.
That was the idea for Peacock.
Yeah, that was the idea for Peacock, and it worked out great. They ended up getting even more people to watch it. Yeah. There was a lot of statistics that came back and were just like, even if it was a small bump, it's a bump. There's more people watching it than normally would have, and it goes back to your first point about the convenience. It's right there. If you're not going to search up wrestling or seek it out, that's one thing. But if you're already on the app or if you just happen to be on your phone and then bloop, just click this one button and I get to watch a pay-per-view. Let's see what's going on with this mess. Then they see Jade Cargill and Naomi, and they go back to whatever it is they were watching on their app. But this is an opportunity here. I really do, and I don't know if you heard, but Nick Khan is out here doing interviews, telling the whole world, "Oh yeah, we're not worried about it." He genuinely feels all of the Peacock people who are watching the pay-per-views will all go to ESPN to watch the pay-per-view. They've said it straight out. It's like, oh, yeah, I don't think we're going to take a hit at all. It's going to be a clean transition over. I'm like, wow. I don't know, buddy.
I don't know. Maybe there is. I don't know.
I
don't think they're gonna hurt. This is gonna help 100%.
I was trying to see because ESPN and Disney have a thing going on. I already have the Disney Plus, and I was trying to see maybe if I can get over on that. And then I found a website that was like absolutely not on Disney Plus. I was like, oh, because now you're really combining my worlds, Marvel and WWE. Oh my God, I'm never leaving the house, and I can if I want. I just pull up my phone, but I'm not. I'm not leaving my house. There's an article here. I didn't send this one to you, but it came out today. That's why I hadn't had a chance to send it to you. It came out today. It was written by Andrew Ravens. This is on WrestlingNews.co. He's listing ESPN as a source that there is interest in WWE's library rights. They want the library, which I don't know if we should do that.
Why?
That sounds. If I'm WWE, I don't. That's where my money's made. I don't want to lose the rights to my own library. Man, I know Vince is gone. I know the McMahons are out of power.
But it's the same deal, isn't it? Somewhat, they would be striking up the same deal, give or take. Obviously, bigger business. That they had with Peacock, because Peacock had their library, didn't they?
They don't own the library. They license the library. That's what the deal is for. That's what they're negotiating for. That's the multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar deals they've been doing, is for the opportunity to rent or to borrow the license on the library, not to own it. They could pull it anytime they want. You sell it, you can't pull anything. It's gone forever. It's out of your hands.
I mean, contractually through for X amount of years, not permanently. You can do a 5-year deal or something
of
like
ownership.
That.
I don't know if I would do ownership. That's pushing it for me.
I don't understand. There would have to be some astronomical money. I don't understand why they would give their rights.
That's
away.
what I'm saying. Like, it would have, and then the amount of content in those libraries. Are you kidding me, bro? They got footage of WWE, WWF, WWF. They got footage going back to George Hackenschmidt and Lou Thesz all the way back in the day. They got for NW. They currently, because remember, WWE's library is not just WWE's library. They've got WCW footage. They've got ECW footage. They've got Georgia footage. They've got Mid-South footage. They got footage from the black and white days. They got Curious George, Gorgeous.
Curious George is crazy.
Yeah, Curious George is a true athlete. Don't sleep on Curious George.
Maybe this was the long play. Because remember, the WWE Network, I was shocked that they got rid of it, because why would you do that? And then I remember you talking about, it's one thing to run it yourself, but if you can get paid to have someone else run it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe that was just the prototype.
It was costing them a bunch.
What do you say? Proof of concept, And what if this is the big play to get someone to buy the catalog? If you can get X amount of dollars,
it would have to. We're talking something that starts with a B or a T. There's no way.
Oh, for sure. But I'm saying, like, if you can get X amount of dollars with some of that value of something you created 20, 30 years ago, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. See how they structure that. I don't see them giving away future rights, like that. Maybe like the backlog, and maybe like after like X amount of time has elapsed, they then get the footage for Raw, SmackDown, Pass to get added to that, and then they would own that. Like, I don't definitely see them making money off of their like future newer shit. Just as it gets older, it gets put into the archive, in which then they would own that.
Yeah, I love the idea of them renting all that shit out, but they really shouldn't give up ownership. But yeah, so it's gonna be $29.99 a month, and for the people out there that are a little sketchy on the price, I can't blame you. They got me. I'm doing it, but they don't have to. I applaud you if you've got the guts to just be like, fuck it, I ain't watching the pay-per-views no more.
Well, I got
right.
2 buddies who stream that shit every time it goes live, and they are both huge wrestling and sports fans. So,
Oh, look at that.
yeah, one of them's big in college. So, big
college
fan.
sports?
College sports, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Is he from the
Huge
South or
college
something?
sports
What's
fan.
the deal with that?
Huh?
Is he from the South or something? What's the deal with that?
No, I don't think so. I think they're technically all from. Unironically, I believe, I could be wrong, they're both from New York.
And they're into college sports?
They're both from New York. Yeah, I mean that. I believe that's where they're from. I could be wrong. I know one of them is for sure. Like his dad is from New York. You talk to him, and that dude sounds like Balboa.
Oh, Jesus. Is that what everyone thinks we sound like?
Yeah, that's what you sound like.
Which is hilarious because his character's from fucking Philly. So
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
what the fuck
that was a
that's
bad
about.
take because you're right. It was Philly, but people don't sound like that. Wait, hold on. You just brought up a good point because you're right. He is from Philly.
So why
do
the
I
fuck
think
does he
New
sound
York
like
when I hear
that?
it? Because when I'm in Philly, people don't sound like that.
But when you're in Brooklyn, people sound like that?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. I might have to. That might have been a bad take. I gotta go back and take a look at the tapes.
No,
But
he
for some
sounds.
reason,
We know.
when
We know what he sounds
hear
like.
Balboa, I think New York, but you're absolutely. I don't never
Yeah.
put that together.
His whole
That is a
fucking
Philadelphia
franchise-
movie.
That's a Philadelphia movie. Yes, it is.
Bro, that shit. You just like blew my mind with that. I don't. That's I don't know why my brain associated that. Yeah,
'cause of
okay,
the-
whatever.
'cause of
We
the
move on.
accent.
We learn shit every day.
Because of the accent, like you said, your
No, you're
brain.
100% correct, but you're right. When I hear him, I think New York for some reason. I don't know. Whatever. We move on.
Hey, yo. That sounds like an Italian from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not absolutely crazy. I will admit that was a bad take, but I'm not completely out of pocket.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not completely wrong here. Someone should take this up with Sly Stallone. Anyway, yeah. So we broke all that down there. Yeah. So they're gonna do it ESPN style, but again, it's not taking place. I believe they said August of 2026, so we still have some time. Maybe they'll set it up for SummerSlam to be the first one on the ESPN. They're doing 2 nights in Minnesota. You know what is so funny? They're doing Minnesota next year for the SummerSlam, and I don't know about y'all, but when I think summer, Minneapolis is one of the first cities that come to fucking mind when I think of summer. So y'all better be happy with what you got. And that might be the introductory PPV for that one, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But that's the breaking news on ESPN and WWE. Lots more to discuss about that as things unfold, but it's not going to unfold.
Do they have a
anytime
date
soon. On the official start?
Yeah.
Of the hair.
What's the first pay-per-view they're doing? The first PLE?
I literally just said I think it's going to be SummerSlam. I think it's slated for No, whoa, wait a second. The conversation becomes. What does it say? The conversation comes after the announcement. We'll move from Peacock to. Oh, they want to get WrestleMania to be the first one, so it might be happening sooner than we fucking think. Okay. All right. Well, you know what?
Yeah, that's why my brain didn't connect when you said SummerSlam. That's why I felt like I missed it.
Because this thing says
there's no
SummerSlam.
fucking way they're doing a whole year. They just announced it.
Yeah, because this thing did say SummerSlam. I missed the part where it started with WrestleMania because it says WrestleMania and SummerSlam. So I was like, I guess it starts at SummerSlam, but I guess not. They're trying to get WrestleMania.
If there is one to start it to get people to subscribe, that'd be the one.
Yeah, of course.
For sure.
That's the one you want to get on the docket first. That's because that's the package for ESPN too.
Yep.
Because I just want to see all the ESPN people talking about the upcoming WrestleMania show, which is fucking going to be hilarious. Because I know
which we'll put a pin on what you just said right there. Let's hold that. Because that's going to be a question for me going forward when we talk about something else later. So.
Oh, okay, sure enough.
Yeah, later on in this show, we're going to talk about something that is going to be a little bit relevant to what you just said. So let's.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the next segment.
Next up, segment 2.
The Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, returned to the WWE as a surprise at the end of night 2 at SummerSlam. They had a great cash-in night 1 at SummerSlam, and they thought to themselves, there's no way we can top it unless, and they brought out Brock Lesnar. We went over it slightly when we did the Aftermath show for SummerSlam. We talked about that. We went over it just a little bit. But I wanted to bring it back up as a main topic because one of the things that I said on the show last is I needed to be refreshed on what it was exactly that Lesnar was being accused of or what he was in the court case for, because I couldn't remember. We hadn't gone over the case in a long time because the son of a bitch is in fucking limbo. Nothing's happening with that case. It's just a thing that exists. So it's just kind of sitting on ice for right now. So I went back. I wanted more time. So I went back, looked over the case again as written by Janelle Grant's lawyers, and I have a much more specific idea of what it was that he was accused of. But before we get into the specifics of what Brock Lesnar did, I also kind of want to keep in mind about the reaction he received, because that place went fucking nuts when Lesnar came out. You could see the excitement on the faces of literally everyone that was in that building. I was at SummerSlam, but I was not at SummerSlam Night 2. So if it was anything compared to the audience reaction that I experienced in Night 1, then I know it was hella loud. Because we said here on the show that a lot of the audio that we were listening to on the show was either muted or lowered down. They did something. They sweetened it up. Not sweetened it up, excuse me. They dumbed it down, actually, not sweetened it up. They did something to that audio that made it almost like you couldn't hear shit in that building. But that one was, you couldn't mistake it. You heard every bit of that goddamn pop when Brock Lesnar came out there. So he got a warm reception, is my point. There might have been a few boos, but they were definitely drowned out by the sounds of everyone going absolutely nuts. So let's start the conversation with this. Was this the right time to bring back Brock Lesnar? I think this is where the conversation should start. Because he hasn't been on TV. They say the last time he was on TV was in 2023. So we're going on almost 2 years of him not being on TV. Is this something they needed to do? That they need this splash? Or is just coming across as just something that they kind of wanted to do in this moment?
I mean, maybe he wanted to do it. I feel like he should have been back sooner. But because of this stuff going on, he had to lay low for a little bit.
Take all that heat off.
And the only thing I can think of is Cena wanted some more interaction with him, which could be a reason to come back. Or he wanted to come back. You'll have a better insight than I do, but that's the only thing I can really see to is why he would be back. So I don't have any other reason in my mind why this would be happening aside from Cena wanting it or him wanting it.
Well, Triple H, I think, was the one who went public stating that this was a John Cena ask. And
okay,
so,
see, all right.
And so, but having said that, it's an ask. You don't have to grant him this specific thing. I know we're in the middle of giving this guy the farewell that he deserves, and he deserves every bit of everything that he's been getting. But this one's touchy. This one's touchy because that case file that they filed, Janelle Grant's attorneys, they're listing, when they list the parties, the people involved in that suit, WWE's name is still in there. They have not removed, despite the fact that Vince is no longer a part of the company in any capacity at all whatsoever. It happened in WWE, and they're not letting go of the fact that it happened in WWE. So WWE's name is already going to be going through some form of mudslinging in the next couple of months. To add to the now optic of wrestling fans or just generation of fucking people just seeking any chance they can possibly get to do some kind of virtual signaling or whatever, to just seem like the cool kids and the I'm going to save you mentality on social media, even if he didn't do anything, which legally he didn't. Not technically, which is why the lawyers cleared him in the first place. I sent you the snap. I didn't want you to have to sift through what seemed, it was 67 pages of fucking filing. But I did send you the exact portion. I sent you snapshots of the exact portion of where he's being listed, which is the next problem I had. I think we talked about it at the time, that Lesnar was not named specifically in the case. It says a former UFC champion, which there's only one on the roster, so that really limits your guessing ability. There's one UFC person there. And it stated the exact stuff that he was involved when, what is this, Section J? I think that's Section J. It just says McMahon uses Miss Grant as a sexual pawn to entice world-famous wrestling talent and to keep WWE superstar under contract with WWE. WWE superstar is famous worldwide as a top talent with WWE, with a large collective fan base that helps generate viewership and drives in-person attendance, all of which enrich WWE and McMahon. Upon information and belief, McMahon began to recruit WWE superstar for a sexual encounter with Miss Grant while she was still a coordinator in the legal department. By July 2021, McMahon informed Miss Grant that WWE superstar would be their next playmate, in quotations. As in other instances, McMahon described his fantasy of seeing Miss Grant engaged in unmerciful sexual acts with WWE superstar, during which he would, in quotations, rip her open. McMahon also confided to Miss Grant that he wanted to have WWE superstar under a new contract, while WWE superstar indicated an interest in a return to other professional endeavors. On about July 12, 2021, McMahon directed Miss Grant to create personalized sexual content for WWE superstar. Those were the piss pics that we heard so much about. McMahon shared the photos with WWE superstar and then informed Miss Grant that, quote, he likes what he sees, quote. On July 21st, 2021, McMahon flew and or caused WWE superstar to fly on a jet into a local airport and travel into Connecticut across state lines, they wanted to point out, for what McMahon described to Miss Grant as a business dinner as well as sexual encounter with Miss Grant in McMahon's condo. Upon information and belief, the dinner was to discuss WWE superstar's continued involvement with WWE. Prior to the business dinner with McMahon, WWE superstar made a brief visit to Miss Grant's building. However, WWE superstar did not return to the building for a sexual encounter because he was too intoxicated and taken back to the plane. Later that evening, after McMahon recounted the story about his dinner with WWE superstar to Miss Grant, he sought to salvage the night with a request that they role play a sexual encounter in which McMahon acted as if he were WWE superstar. McMahon was so physically rough with Miss Grant during the encounter that Miss Grant begged Mr. McMahon to stop numerous times, including loud cries of help, I'm serious and I'm scared, as he, among other things, penetrated her, fisted her, pulled her hair, pinned her, shoved her, and open palm slapped her. Mr. McMahon's assault caused Miss Grant to break down weeping and curl into the fetal position with her arms pulled up to protect her face. And then it goes a little deeper more on the physical assault of McMahon. Now, you can go ahead and break all that down to McMahon's actions there, and they wanted to point out the across state lines comment because that's your trafficking right there. That's what they're considering part of the trafficking, and they're not wrong. And although there were intentions to include Brock into whatever it is they were doing, again, technically, he didn't do any of it. He received the text messages from Vince. We don't know what his genuine reaction was to those pics. He did not have sexual relations with Miss Grant, although in their document they're stating that there was some sort of get-together, some sort of meeting, or some sort of rendezvous where they were supposed to. But even by Janelle Grant's documentation, they didn't. So, I mean, even if there was intent to do something, nothing was done. So if you want to pull the morality card, I'm with you on that. I don't think this dude is coming across like the greatest human being who's ever fucking lived. But he didn't commit the crime. He didn't beat anybody up. He didn't shit on anybody. He didn't fucking... matter of fact, the only connection he has to Janelle Grant apparently is McMahon pretending he was Brock Lesnar as he did his fuck. I wonder if he did the fucking entrance and everything. Like, he think he played the music and the whole shit. I don't know. This dude's fucked in the head. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? Legally speaking, I can see why the legal team of WWE cleared him. I can see
what
it.
I think is in his from his perspective, getting hammered that night was the greatest thing that ever happened to him.
he got out of the case, yeah.
Getting so drunk that he couldn't, regardless, we can't prove his intent. So we can't, like, for all we know, they said that's what happened, but he really wasn't. He just didn't want anything to do with it, right? So you can kind of go... Right, they could say, "Oh, he's drunk. He's too drunk to, he's just went back to the plane or the hotel or whatever." Right, but in reality, he didn't want anything to do with it. That's a possible. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying
it's definitely on the table because
two things that could happen.
I've never heard a guy say, "Oh, I can't wait to do some shit to you." Unfortunately, I'm a little too inebriated, so I'm going to hop back on the plane and go home. But you guys enjoy yourselves. I've never seen a guy. I've known guys who knew they were too drunk to fuck, and just went, you know what? We're going to roll the dice. let's see what happens. So let's wait till we get
rope here, but
I'll get there. Don't worry about it. You give me a minute.
Figure this one out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure this one out. I've never seen a dude just
somebody's nutting. I don't know.
Yeah. You better get yours because I'm gonna get mine. Son. I've never heard a dude say that before. It was like, I would love to have sex with your friend, Vince, but I have just had so much to drink tonight. I think I'm just gonna head back on the plane.
Much tequila?
Yeah, that's another thing. He's so drunk that he can't have sex at the hotel room, but they put him in the plane. It wasn't like he went to a hotel room himself. He got who's too fucked up to fuck, but not too fucked up to fly. I don't know.
I'm not a frequent flyer.
Yeah,
maybe you get some sleep on there, but. Yeah, answer your question. I think if it did actually go down that way, he was absolutely obliterated, was escorted back to his plane to get out of there. That is the greatest thing that happened to him, regardless of what his intent was. We don't know that. All we know is the facts that we are being given. And like you said, even to her testimony, you can try to slander him if you want, and maybe he is a piece of shit for trying to do it, but
he didn't touch you.
At the end of the day, it never happened.
Yeah, it never happened.
So we can't convict them or accuse them of anything that didn't happen. And she said herself it didn't happen. So
she said it herself that they did nothing happen.
Here we have it.
It wasn't
Cena versus Brock.
It wasn't. Okay, if you want to go down the path of the trafficking again from Vince's angle, correct. If you want to go to the issue with Vince convincing her or bullying her or pressuring her to do the content-specific picks for Brock, it sounds like Vince was doing those pictures to entice Brock to stay.
Like an advertisement.
Yeah, like he was trying to do something to get Brock to stay. It wasn't like Brock said, hey, I'll sign for this money and let me see Janelle Grant's tits. I don't think that was the conversation either. I think, again, that's Vince being the pervert that he is. It was like, hey, look, I'm going to send some pics to my buddy over some smut that I'm working over here. And
yeah. It could have been, hey, you want to come back for a show? Look what I got for you.
Yeah, word. It's like, hey.
That doesn't take Brock completely out of the picture per se,
Yeah.
but who's to say he asked for that? It could have just hit his line. That guy could have been in the fucking woods hunting, and that shit just popped up, and he's like, "Look, dude, I'll do your show. Just relax on this shit. Like,
Chill.
You guys can do whatever you're doing. I don't give a fuck, but like, stop hitting my line with this shit."
Yeah, for all we know,
Who knows?
he was just trying to be that guy with Brock, where the guy's like, smell my fingers type shit, you know, where it's like when he hooks up with a girl, all of a sudden he can't stop talking about, oh, you should have seen that backward shit I was doing to this chick, man. She's amazing. I was doing this, and he's just like, okay.
This thing is crazy work, dude.
Yeah,
That's crazy work.
I could see the issue with the morality of it, or with the perception of it, to even be named in this thing and then still be on WWE television. I get it, but I can't sit here and be angry with the company for making a decision that legally they have the right to make. Nick Khan.
And I'll tell you what, though, I know we're riding on the perspective of like there is a chance he could have had bad intent, but let's look at it in a perspective where he's completely fucking innocent. He doesn't want anything to do with this, and it's just he's kind of like his name's kind of like being dragged into it. Dude, I'm fucking tight. Especially if I had plans to come back and do work, and now I have to kind of like sit. You know what I mean? Because you're doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. From that perspective, I'd be a little fucking annoyed. But I mean, he's gonna do business, right? So he's gonna stay shut. He's not gonna add any fuel to the fire.
You're talking about Brock?
If he, let's say he was actually clean, like he's just being texted this shit, he doesn't want it. His name's being brought up. Dude's role playing as him, so now she's like, she's got the fucking memory of her dad of Brock and all that stuff, which is why she brings him up. He's a big name, stuff like that. But you're sitting there just completely fucking minding your business. You know what I mean? Like now you have to wait to do business. So I don't know. It looks like he's clean. He's back. He's going to do something. Didn't they threaten him saying like this was a bad decision or some shit? Like, didn't their lawyers say that they were going to get in trouble for that or some shit?
Yeah, they said I read the exact quote on the last episode, but it was something to the relates of that they were disappointed in seeing it, and that they're looking forward to all of the facts coming out concerning not only the court case itself, but specifically the involvement of Brock Lesnar. They're trying to make it seem like they've got more than they're letting on. But my thing is this: if you do, right? Let's say you do have something on Brock, that Brock had a role that is bigger than they're letting on in this entire thing. Why is Vince, in the actual write-up, in the actual dissertation, Vince McMahon is McMahon, John Laurinaitis is John Laurinaitis? How come when they mention Brock, it's former UFC champion and quote-unquote WWE superstar? Why can't they just say...
Because they're trying, and he's still associated, and they are deliberately, and from their angle, sure, but like they are trying everything to keep that WWE name attached to this lawsuit.
Oh yeah, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
That's where the money... Vince is going to allow TKO to foot the bill if that's what gets him out of this situation. If that's what gets him out of there, and that's not his company anymore, so okay, fine. That's where it took place. Let's involve the company. I don't think he wants to harm what is, regardless of the fact that he sold it, going to be his legacy in life forever, even in death. That company will be the milestone of his entire career, of his entire life, regardless of what happens in this case. But you look at it completely differently with the case. I call it Christopher Columbus syndrome, you know? For years, Christopher Columbus was this wonderful dude that everyone looked up to, and they had a holiday for him and all this other shit. And then the stuff really started coming out. And now people are like, ugh, maybe we just call it Indigenous Day and move on with our fucking lives. That's what's going to... I hate to see it because, you know, the Benoit treatment and everything that's gone on with McMahon... with the company, whenever they have these situations where a wrestler or somebody associated with the company steps over that line and it becomes something else. Like we were talking about earlier, the ring crew boys, right? Where they were throwing people under the bus for that. Pat Patterson had to take an L, and there was a bunch of people who were involved with that. When the scandals hit, that's when everyone gets the most quiet. You know, they're trying to see who's going to survive the blast. And I think Lesnar naturally is not a very extroverted guy as it is. It's easy for him to lay low. That's his natural habitat. But I think this is an issue for him, this comeback here, because now the conversation, I think, whether fair or unfair, the conversation stops being about Vince and now becomes a conversation about them, which is hilarious when you think about it, because if you really want to be honest about people who were associated with Vince's depravity, who assisted in it, who played a role, we circle back to the snitch. How are we still not talking about the snitch? That boy is crazy good at evading fucking conversation. John Laurinaitis is the person who took the deal under the table. He was the one who had sex with Janelle. Lesnar might have had an appointment or two, whatever, that's debatable. We know John had sex with her. That's confirmed. Even to the point where this man lost his marriage and everything. This motherfucker is on the outs. But we're not talking about him, though. We're talking about Brock. So, it is what it is, man. But that's the specifics. That's what we needed to come back to and reassess. We needed to once again touch on what it was he was specifically involved in, and if that is enough to keep him off of television. And for as much as I don't like the situation as a whole, I can't begrudge. I can't get on them for doing it. If I was booking it, I wouldn't do it. But they're willing to do it. Nick Khan.
That's not fair.
It's not fair to what, to Brock?
No, for you to say that you wouldn't do it, because I think if you had the information you would have made the same call.
I don't know that for certain, no. But I'm telling you that
I will die on the hill that if you had the same information they had, you would make the correct business decision.
Right, but here's the difference between what I think I would have done and what they are doing, and that's addressing it. Because they're not addressing it.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't. I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm saying
I think it would be. I think it's in their best interest to fucking address it. Like, for instance, the conversation that really spurred this up is this was the first pay-per-view in a long time that they didn't do the post pay-per-view press conference. And everybody was like, well, we all know why they're not doing the press conference, because all the questions are going to be about this and literally nothing else. And that's 100% true. I don't know if that's the exact specific reason why they stopped doing it. Me personally, I don't think they should have ever started doing it. It doesn't make sense to do. It's not helpful for you to do. I don't like it when AEW does it. I definitely don't like it when they fucking do it. But the timing now looks really bad. Because if you were going to end it, that's one thing. But to end it right after this guy appears, now it comes across like you have something to hide. When you don't. All the legalities out there in the open. I Googled this information. It's all readily available. It's not private. There's nothing really being hidden, but it feels that way. I think that's the issue I would have with bringing him back, because it's the perception of things. People don't give a fuck about truth. Random people in life just don't give a fuck about what's true. It's the spin. It's the drama. They are not there for the rights and wrongs of the situation. You know how many people are on Brock Lesnar? They're on Vince McMahon. They're on John Laurinaitis. And they don't give two shits about Janelle Grant. They don't care about the fucking victim. They just want to see these fucking predators eat shit. That's it. They've made it their own personal fucking missions to make sure that these guys are fucking canceled, period, end of fucking conversation. They don't care about the woman who actually received the negative end of all of this conversation. Listen to the shit that I just read to you right now about what Vince McMahon did to her. You don't hear those specifics being discussed online. All you hear is how much of a piece of shit Vince is, and how much of a piece of shit John Laurinaitis is, and how much of a piece of shit Brock Lesnar is. And any other names that come out during the course of this process, they're just going to lump them in the shit garbage bag altogether, all as one, regardless of the situation. All that stuff that Vince did, and all the stuff that Brock Lesnar did, and for whatever reason, they're being held in the same regard. And that doesn't make sense. Both did crimes, but one clearly had more fun with their crimes than the other one did. But, you know, the court of public opinion doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. That's why I would be a little weary. And I would, you know what? Not for nothing. The reason why I say I would address it, because it would make it 10 times harder. If I addressed it, it would make it 10 times harder for the next week or two. But after that, no one's going to give a fuck anymore. They're going to be over it. People get over things so fucking fast in today's world. They're mad right now. They'll be over it in a week. They'll be over it. That's why me personally, I would have steered into it. Hey, we understand your concerns. Yes, we understand your feelings on the whole situation, but we've ran this by legal. We've ran this by our legal team, and we feel that this is the best course of action, and blah, 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 blah. And then stand on your business. That's it. Regardless of what you explain, there's going to be a group of people out there that don't like it, because there's people out there that don't like anything. But at least it kayfabes your fucking company, because this version of WWE is still saying that they don't have a role in this case, because they weren't fucking there. So, keep the babyface run going. Hey, look, we understand your concerns. We understand how you feel. We apologize for putting you in that position. But he's been cleared by our legal team. There's nothing illegal that we're doing, and we're moving forward. This is the business decision that we're making, period. They don't have to like it, but you can kayfabe yourself into being the babyface. And look, you know, we're acknowledging how you feel. We just disagree, and we're going to do something else. We understand if you guys feel differently. That's it. To do the silent game, not just the silent game, but then like to not do the press conference, you're coming off looking very weak. That's all I'm saying. It just comes across very weak. Stand on it. You brought him in. I'm not even telling you not to use him. Just stand on it. That's what I'm saying. Address it. Because you're just going to make yourself look like you got something to hide, and you don't. He didn't do anything. No, he didn't. Let me rephrase. He didn't do anything illegal. Which was why he was cleared in the fucking first place. Because he didn't do anything that's going to harm the company. I'm pretty sure he laughed his fucking ass off when he got the pics. And I'm pretty sure he got his jollies. But he didn't actually touch her. He didn't traffic her. He didn't shit on her. He didn't pee on her. He didn't do any of that weird shit that this fucking guy was doing. So we have our real villain. We have him. We don't need to, you know, drag this guy. Like you said, unfair. It's unfair, to be honest with you. So there you go. That's the Brock Lesnar and Janelle Grant situation there. On Raw, John acknowledged Brock, but there was no Brock. It looks like we're going to have to wait to see if these two collide. They're on a time schedule, so I don't know when they're planning on pulling the trigger on a John Cena, Brock Lesnar situation. But
Tony, I got a feeling it's his farewell match.
The last one? You think they're going to start building now to December? They could. They could.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. You're going to blink. It's going to be December. Don't tell me that, because I'm trying to enjoy what's left of this goddamn summer. But you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Let's see what's next.
It's time for segment 3.
It is time for segment 3. And segment 3 is Unreal Episode 1. This is the Netflix docu-series of WWE allowing cameras to be in the backstage area as they peruse around and tell different stories about individuals and situations. Everybody's been talking about it. All the dirt sheets and all the websites that just put rumors on there for the clicks. They're just grabbing snippets from this stuff. This has been internet jackpot candy gold for a lot of people. And we got a chance, you and me. You came over to the crib, and we got a chance to sit down somewhat and watch most of this, but our wives wouldn't stop yapping. But I was trying to watch the goddamn thing, and everybody just kept with the blah, 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 blah. But I got pretty much the gist of everything I needed to see. What was... How should we begin this? Should we start off with the negative? Start off with the positive? What are we doing here? What do you want to do?
Oh, you got negatives. Whatever. I
don't know if I should start right out of the gun.
Let me not phrase it like that, because it's not all glory. But I don't know. I don't really see mine as negative, though.
Okay,
we'll see. You go first.
Okay, I'll go first, and I'm gonna do a little column A, a little column B, because to be honest with you, I imagined this being much worse than it was. A lot of this actually did feel like it was educational to a degree. Now, I'm not saying educational for me. I knew everything that was on this goddamn thing. But I can see if you're a casual fan or someone who's been a fan but not for very long, and you don't really know the ins and outs, and you don't know a lot about the inside stuff, I could see where this comes across as very educational stuff. One of my favorite parts, as far as the education goes, is with the gorilla position, when they started talking about that, and the breakdown, and the build, and all this other stuff. And I told you the story, I'll tell everybody else here on the show now, that when you look at the pictures that they show you of Gorilla Monsoon, when they were discussing the origins, I guess, of the gorilla position, which I'll explain what the gorilla position is meant for in a second. You saw pictures of Gorilla Monsoon, and you saw tiling, and you saw paneling, and the reason for that is because the gorilla position wasn't always a place that they built. Usually 9 times out of 10 was a place they designated that was already in the building. So a bathroom, a locker room, a closet, whatever the fuck. They set a table up, put some monitors together, got some headsets, and did their thing with the performers in the ring and the talking to the truck and the da-da-da-da. And so this was cool to see their new version of what they consider now to be their gorilla position, where they build like a whole breakdown pieceable office. It's like a whole IKEA setup where they just plug and play pieces together, complete with electrical sockets and the screens and the whole shebang. That was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it. My biggest pet peeve, I don't like when, and I haven't seen the rest of the episodes yet, and I hear it gets worse, which sucks. I don't like the videotaping of the conversation about the matches. I don't need that. If you want to talk about the behind the scenes, about like the decision making and the conversations about what's going into the booking and all that stuff, I mean, that's bad enough as it is, but I could swallow that. I don't like, there's something that makes my skin crawl to watch them talk about the matches on camera. Where, for instance, I think in this particular episode, you can see some of the guys. I think it was Rhea and Damian Priest. She's going over the match in front of Damian. It's going to be this, and then Damian's like, okay, right, and they're going over it, da-da-da-da. And I don't like that. I don't like that because people are going to see that, and they're not going to understand the context of that. Yes, you see the robotics of up and over here, blah, 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 okay, down, drop down here, blah, blah, blah. And that's where their listening skills will stop. Because after Rhea goes over the match in her head and they have a little giggle over it, Damian starts to fill in the blanks. As I call it, fill in the da-da-da. Because that's what everyone talks about when they go over the match. And then we'll do this, okay, I'll take heat, da-da-da-da, and then, okay, but what's the da-da-da-da-da, right? So after you go over the skeleton, the actual moves and the actual pacing and everything like that, that's the skeleton. All right, all the stuff in the middle, that's the meat of the matter. That's the muscle. That's where you start to fill your body out. And Damien was going over the muscles. He was going over the meat of the matter. He's okay. Just remember when you do this pin, right? You pop up, hard cam side, give him a scream, give him something to pop up the fans, and then we do this, and then we do that. I personally, it bothered me because some things to me, like, you know how people protect recipes? I'm being serious. You know how people protect recipes? They're like, hey, can you make that thing for me? Sure, I'll make it, but you can't be in the kitchen, bro. You can't see how I put this together, bro. That's how I feel. It's the same the other way. I saw, it wasn't in this episode, but there's a clip coming up with Cody and Kevin Owens when they're talking about the stuff that happened in the match. So they're having a post-match conversation. That to me is sacred stuff. That to me, personally, as a performer, that's sacred stuff to me. That's supposed to be the moment where the individuals who just went out there and had this match, it's more than just checking up on each other, because that's what it seemed like in the clip. Like Kevin was like, oh, I dropped you on your neck. I'm sorry. Like, are you good? You're like, I'm good. And they're going back and forth. It's to the people out there who have never been in the business, that moment after the match is when your adrenaline is pumping at its absolute fucking highest. Because not only did you just have the match, so your heart is beating like 1,000 miles a minute, but it's over and you're okay. And now you're in the locker room with no gimmick on, it's just you. So your fucking your adrenaline's through the fucking roof. This is where brotherhood, sisterhood, all those phrases, that's where that comes in that moment after the match. That's when you have your conversation. You show appreciation to your opponent, where you have the conversation. Because when you're in the ring with another person, you're responsible for the health and well-being of that person. So, it's a lot of dapping, a lot of hugging, a lot of, thank you, man, thank you for the match, da-da-da-da. And you're sharing this moment. This is a bonding moment. This is the kind of moment that, like, when you go into other locker rooms or if you meet each other on the road somewhere, like, there's a bond there now. We've shared sweat and blood and tears together in the ring for the sake of entertainment. We're bonded now. We may not always get along. Brothers and sisters fight, but we're in the fraternity. We're in the brotherhood. We're tied together. To have that on screen, I don't know. It cheapens it. It's I don't know. It bothers me, but that's me and that's my upbringing. So I don't hold anybody else to that. But to me, it bothers me. The rest of the stuff on the show, to me, kind of harmless, I guess. Triple H is going to put over the process, and this is what we're thinking about, and this is how we're going to do this. All right, fine. Cat's out of the bag, right? Everybody knows that they're booking the fucking show. So no sense in hiding that. That's the whole point of the show, so that the writing team and everybody can blow themselves. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. I have more specifics, but I'm dying to hear what you have to say.
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent on the whole thing. That's why I hesitate saying that it's a bad thing. Because I do see it from a different perspective. And what I'm looking at it in a sense of, and I don't disagree with anything that you said. I have a little bit of those feelings too. But what I'm thinking is what my brain goes to, what's the play?
Okay.
Because you are correct. Because I don't think you're wrong in anything that you're saying. The things that you are mentioning is very sacred. It's very secretive. It's the whole nuance.
It's been protected for years, too.
It's one of those things where you know it, I know it, but like the love of this is that we're all just going to pretend like that's not going on, right?
Right.
So to expose that, I'm with you. Let's expose it. But what's the play, right? You got. And this is why I want to put a pin into the ESPN thing, because you're going into, and not to say that this isn't a sport. I will not say that this is not a sport. I think you can very well, if you say it's not a sport, that's fine. But if I'll understand both arguments. But for me, I see it as a sport. It's definitely a sport.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to go into ESPN, why now do you pull the curtain back? Because now you're going to have now you're going to have these sports people. There's a good chance they start talking about some of this stuff. It's on their network. They may not, but there is a possibility that they may bring some stuff up. To me, with this exposure, I don't think you can do that anymore. Because it just becomes now a play. It's a play now. It's something that we watch and we enjoy. And I don't really think it takes anything from it from me, but I can definitely see some people seeing that and it kind of be like, like it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. Like now that she does a clothesline, she knocks her down, gets up and screams at the camera. Like now it doesn't feel like authentic energy. You know what I mean? It feels like she's hitting her spots and like that's what she's doing. Like I can see that be a feeling for some people. But my main point is I'm just curious on where the play is. I'm a full believer in that there's a reason why they're doing this. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. I'm very curious to see what happens, but it does feel in the moment extremely just kind of unnecessary. Like who is this for?
Are you genuinely asking, or are you just making a philosophical point?
No, I'm asking, who is it for?
Well, you know what? Up until
it's not for the veterans because they kind of are. It's not for the people pseudo in the business / in the business because they know this. They're not going to watch this and go, "Ooh, I didn't know." Like they know this. It's not the people who are educated about wrestling, may not be in the business, but know a lot about how things happen.
Right.
It's not really for them because they kind of know maybe some of those people in that range will get some type of validation, but I don't think it's a matter of question for those people. And then you're looking at more people like me I think I'm more of like the upper casual side, but then you have more of like a casual side, like the more indirect, like I'm at your house, you're watching wrestling, so I watch it, I like it, but I will never go out of my way to watch it. Like those type of people, I don't think it's for them either. Like I think you need that mystique, that mystery, albeit obvious, but it's still there for those people. Now, if you're showing them this stuff, I feel like those are the ones that suffer the most because they're kind of on edge. They're on the edge about it anyway, and then you show them that, and I feel like it's gonna make people more uninterested than they are interested in it.
Oh, it's so funny that you just brought up the ESPN angle of it because I didn't put it together until you just fucking said that. To where now I'm trying to connect the dots in my head, and I think that the answer to the question of who is this for, believe it or not, piggybacking on what you just said, I'm going to go ahead and say it's for the ESPN audience. Because, and I'll support that by saying this, what's the one piece of the puzzle that every non-wrestling fan always brings up when they talk about wrestling? Oh, it's fake. It's fake. He's not really getting hurt. She's not really getting hurt. They know how to fall. They know how to do this, know how to do that. If you come from a sports background, or at the very least, let's just talk fandom, right? Not even like professional athletes, but just from a sports fan's point of view, everything that you consider about sports is real. It's happening in real time. Is it actually happening that way? That's up for debate. We'll have that conversation another day. Because, for the record, for everybody who complains about wrestling being rigged, let's not pretend sports is not, okay? Can we just not?
You're that guy?
From that conversation. Well, you know what it is? It's hard to deny it when we have legal documentation saying that it's happened. And it's happening right now as we speak. There are 3 referees right now in the WNBA who are being suspended and banned for life for doing exactly that. There's a documentary, or there was anyway, on Netflix. The 30 for 30 was done on Tom Dunn. What's that dude's name? The fucking referee that was shaving the points. So listen, it happens. I'm not saying all sports. I'm saying let's let go of this fantasy that everything in sports is absolutely real. But for the sake of this conversation, let's say it's all in the up and up, right? As a sports fan, You're used to seeing your athletes go through the shit. You know that they're being injured. You know that they're going through it mentally because of the travel and because of the time spent away from families and the Christmas games and the New Year's Eve games, and they're on the road, and load management is a big conversation in the NBA right now. And this is what the sports fan is accustomed to seeing. So now what they did was they put together a presentation that shows the sports fan, look, it's real for us too. This is a 24/7 job. We don't have an off season. I don't know if you caught that a few times. They've said in the past, WWE has said, we don't have an off season. And then he made the statement on the Unreal episode that he considers the start of January to WrestleMania. He considers that the playoffs. That's their playoffs. That's WWE's postseason. And much like the postseason, not everybody gets to make it to the championship game. You gotta have a certain skill set. You gotta be over to a certain degree. There's factors in play, which is the point, right? So you know what? I think you asked me that question when you were here, when you were like, who's this for? I don't think I had an answer. But since you bringing it up now with this whole new audience and this exposure that's about to happen, especially it being on Netflix, because our whole point about Netflix, when they brought Raw to Netflix, is, wow, this is going to open up a lot of eyes to new people. Whether they watch the show or not, they have the capability now to watch it for free with no inconvenience. It's right at their fingertips. They can watch it all that they want. And for those people out there who see Monday Night Raw on their dashboard for Netflix but never click on it, if you're like me and you're a documentary buff and now all of a sudden this pops up on your feed as a documentary, you might give it a shot. And then when you give it a shot and you look at it and you go, oh, I guess this is a little bit more physical than I thought it was going to be. Who knows? You might be able to change some minds. The realness and the rawness of it is questionable. I'm referring to the show because there are some things I explained to you in the house, and I won't beat a dead horse because I've heard people already explain it on their podcast, but not everything that happened on this show is complete 100% shoot. They're working some of it. They're giving you just enough for the realism, and a lot of it's real. But they're working some of this. They're not going to give it to you completely 100%. But for the odd chance that somebody comes on and it might spark an interest of some kind. It's like, I didn't want to see that movie, but then they did a behind the scenes on it, and I kind of caught a little bit of it, and it kind of made me want to watch the movie. Kind of one of those things. Mm-hmm. Who knows? It doesn't hurt to do it, at least not by this point. Kayfabe's pretty much out the fucking window as it is. By the way, small tidbit, not connected to this, but we're hearing reports that people in the fucking locker room were pissed off that they were lied to about Seth Rollins' injury. They're pissed off. Why'd you work us? You work the marks. You don't work us. Well, you've become the marks. How many of you motherfuckers are in the back TikToking and posting and doing group photos and doing little challenges and dances, and your shit is all over social media. You're all over the fucking place. I'm supposed to trust you with a secret? No, I think those days are long gone. And I think the kayfabe days are also pretty much in danger. Now, I'm not going to ever say that kayfabe is dead. That's not in my vocabulary. I've been pretty consistent with that for this whole show. Kayfabe will never die. Kayfabe is not a wrestling thing.
I don't think kayfabe's in danger either. I think we're just looking at a different kayfabe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kayfabe can only work about as far as people allow it to work.
You just gave it a good example of Seth Rollins working on the back.
Yeah.
I think kayfabe is very much alive, but I also think that no one is privy. No one's going to get the truth anymore. Everyone's going to get kayfabed.
Yeah.
At this point.
Have to at this point.
Especially if we got cameras in the back recording spots.
Exactly.
Because we can't afford anybody to slip. So guess what? Everyone's in the dark now.
Yeah,
if you're not involved in it, you don't know.
You don't need to know.
Nope.
You don't,
because the kayfabe is alive.
Exactly. You don't need to know. What was it Seth Rollins said? The only people that knew about the fact that he was faking the injury, Triple H, Becky Lynch, and like one or two other people. His own daughter didn't know he wasn't hurt. They worked his fucking kid. And then when the kid felt sad for daddy's boo-boo, they ended up caving and telling her. And they said, but you got to keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody. And she went and she told her preschool teacher. Oh, my daddy's not hurt. He's just playing around. It's like, damn, kid.
See? That's why you don't tell nobody.
You can't trust nobody. Exactly.
Nobody, not even your own damn kid.
It be your own people, son. It be your own people.
You think you know a guy.
Yeah. I've raised her. I've clothed her. I put a roof over her head. And this is how she do me.
Oh, too nuts.
Yeah. You came out of my balls and you going to betray me like this? You going to do me like this, son? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, I don't trust nobody neither. I told a bunch of my friends, I said, if we all start working together, I'm kayfabing you too, bitch. Fuck you.
You get nobody.
Nobody. My wife would be lucky she finds out. I'm working a knee injury right now so I can get out of shit to do. So, yeah, kayfabe will never die because kayfabe is essentially the art of telling a lie believably and having someone believe it's the truth. That's not going anywhere.
Let's say here, kayfabe never dies. It only adapts.
There you go. We gotta. No, who has upheld kayfabe more than our current commander-in-chief? That boy lives it, baby. That boy lives it. Anybody who's ever been in a position of power understands the art of kayfabe. The store manager at the Walmart understands the art of the kayfabe. You don't tell everybody everything. You tell everybody what they need to know in order for everything to continue to function properly. That's it. That's why this series, I don't know. They're being extremely careful with what they give away. I could see it. Extremely careful. But at the end of the day, they're still spelling secrets, so it is what it is. All right, so we're good here. We got our unreal thought. The final overall thought, though, are you interested in seeing more? Should we keep going?
I'm going to make a push to watch more. I'll probably watch some this weekend. I have a really long time to do it, so yes, I do want to. I want to finish. How many episodes is it?
I can get back to you in a second because I have it in front of you. I think right now there's 5. But they're like an hour long, though.
Yeah. I mean, she really enjoyed it. She likes watching stuff like that. When it comes to like wrestling, she likes the wrestling as well. But like, she likes that stuff. She likes the more like reality type stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's a little bit more for her. So I know she wants to watch it as well. So I'll probably end up even if you don't. If I finish it, I'll bring in the hot takes.
Oh, okay. If she likes the behind the scenes stuff, then she must really get a kick out of watching shows with me because I keep telling her the inside shit. I'm pulling it up now, but that's okay. Oh, you know what? Before we get out of this segment, I know I'm trying to segue out of it. I just thought of the one more thing. I would have kicked myself if I didn't say this on the show concerning the Unreal deal. I would hate myself if I don't mention this. So let me get this out real quick, and then we'll move on to the next segment. The Rhea Ripley stuff on this show. Let me just explain this clearly. And yes, I'm looking at it now. There's 5 episodes. Let me say this clearly. I am not holding anybody's feet to the fire. I'm not judging anyone. I'm not talking down to anyone. If you are a person that deals with high levels of anxiety, depression, severe just being an introvert, not really being, that outlandish of an individual, I don't hold any of that against you. I actually admire people who have those things that they deal with and yet still manage to find themselves in show business. This is like the worst place for people with those conditions. Show business is not the place you want to be if you have overwhelming insecurities and depression, and if you suffer from high level anxiety, like being a performer on television is probably the last fucking job that you should have when you do these things. So I'm going to put this out there now. I don't judge anybody for that. If that's how you live your life, if that's the thing that you deal with and battle with every day, so be it. I wish you well on your trials and your battles. I have no issue with that. Rhea Ripley suffers from those things extremely bad. Extremely bad. Like, she starts dealing with it to a point where it affects her physically. That whole scene, that whole section of the show where she's pacing and she's got all kinds of things going on in her head, and then she goes, but then I hear my music and I go out and the switch flips and I am Rhea Ripley. Okay, cool. Whatever it takes to get you through your stuff, right? So I'm not judging anybody. I'm not saying anything negative about that. What I will say is I don't know if it helps the company in any way to show people this. There's going to be some kids, some little girl, some little boy somewhere out there who deals with this, who's going to see this as something that's relatable to them. I'm not saying that it's completely for no reason, out of nowhere, and has no audience. But I don't know if you're in the soap opera business, if you're in the storytelling business, I don't know if it hurts or helps. I think it hurts more than it helps to show your top performer, whose reputation is that of badassery, to be that vulnerable and fragile on television. I don't know if that helps you or if it hurts. I think it helps. I think it hurts. I don't think. How does that help?
It's more relatable.
To a large portion of the audience or to a minimal portion of the audience?
To a large portion of the audience.
You think that's to a large portion of the audience?
Yeah. I think there are a lot of people, especially today, especially the direction that the world is going, especially with social media, especially with AI, especially with all that stuff. We are going in the direction of very introverted, social anxiety driven social anxiety ridden people who have difficulty communicating with other humans. It's just weird. And being in the middle of the spotlight, people working from home, so there's even less exposure to people in uncomfortable situations, people getting food delivered to their door and not even having to go to the fucking restaurant to talk to the person at the counter to get your food. Like, all of these things just drive the anxiety portion of Rhea Ripley, and to watch her go through damn near an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
To be able
awfully
to
close, yeah, to an actual
be
attack.
able to flip it, and now you see her out, you see her walk out, and now you're seeing the Rhea that you see on TV. So to see that, it could, first of all, people are going to love her for it because she's so strong for doing that. And two, if there is a girl or a guy or anybody sitting there and go, man, I would fucking love to do that, but I'm a loser. I can't be in front of people. I know a lot of this stuff. I practice it in my room. I want to go do this, but I can't be in front of people. I can't. And then to see that, go, oh, wait, maybe I can do it. So I definitely see the perspective of that. Not so much the match calling. I don't like that part. But showing that portion of her that is extremely relatable today, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very good thing to show that could motivate people to go after their dreams, even if they deal with such crippling anxiety and stuff like that. Like, you can fight through it and do something special. I think that's what you get from that.
Then I guess I'm the asshole. Because I don't get it. I guess no, I'm dead serious. I heard what you just said, and logistically it makes sense to me. like on a
But you know why though?
I understand why.
You're not an asshole, but do you know why it doesn't resonate?
I'm definitely based on what.
No. In theory and in practice, yes, but in this situation, you're not an asshole. And the reason why is because you're not that.
Yeah, I'm not that.
You're not anxiety.
I don't know
not
what
saying
that
you
is.
don't experience anxiety,
Yeah.
but you're not a social anxious person.
No, I'm not.
You're the guy in the park with headphones dancing on top of a table out in the open with no shame because that's just who you are. Like, you're not afraid of eyeballs. If anything, you invite them. So for you to look at it and go, at least you're kind enough to go, okay, I see it.
Yeah.
It's real. I can appreciate the struggle. Do you? Like, I hope you keep working through it. But in your heart, in your gut, you feel nothing. And I don't mean to say that in a negative manner. What I'm saying is you don't know what that feels like.
No, I don't know what that feels like.
You're the opposite personality. So to like social anxiety, you kidding me? Like, yeah, I get anxious, but my anxious is like, ooh, open the curtain, open it now. I'm ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just two different sides of the spectrum. So it's cool. At least it's nice that you identify. Like, you're not like some of those people who are like, oh, you gotta fuck a man up. Stop being like, it's a real thing, and it's cool that they show it, and they showed her push through that too. I think it was good.
To support my assholeism, the reason why I say that I'm still in this situation considering myself an asshole, because as much as I can identify everything that you just said, and I get the connection, I don't know if I'm comfortable with. I don't know if I would pull the trigger on actually having it recorded. Like, I don't know. It bothers me. I understand everything that you just said, but again, I have empathy for the people who do, but I don't. And so when I see that, I go, I didn't need to, because you've seen how hyped I get over Rhea Ripley. And I've said to people, her entrance to me is the most important part, because you can tell from the entrance where her head is. When she just does the entrance and she's doing the walk and all that stuff, yes, she looks like a star. She looks great. Everything's good. When she comes out of there and she's stomping and she's blowing smoke and she's singing the song and she's got the tongue out and oh shit, that's whoever's in the ring is in fucking trouble, because this she about to wrestle you out the gym. Like, I get hyped. That entrance to me does its job. It gets me hyped. Now that I know that she's damn near fucking suffocating on her own spit before it happens, I'm like, all right.
Nah.
All right. No, I'm dead serious. It fucking takes me out. I'm dead serious. I can understand for other people, they identify and they go, you know what, good for her. She gave, not for me. I'm like, oh, she's in that category.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. She that I'm not gonna lie. A few points lost on my side. I'm just like,
and to be fair to that point, say what you want. You're not gonna stop watching her.
No, I still say that she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. No doubt about it.
But there are some people who are going to love her more because they saw it.
Because she freaks out before her entrance.
Because they see a human that they can relate to. Essentially.
Oh, I'm glad you finished it with that sentence, because I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Because you said they see a human, and I thought that was going to be the end of that. And I'm like, wait a minute. So unless you feel that, you're not human, but then you ended it with that they could relate to, and I went, oh, all right, that makes more sense than the thing that I thought you was going to say. All right, cool.
Fair enough.
That's why I was about to go into fucking. I was like, what? I'm human. What was it from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I am human. I'm a human male. I'm a man. I'm a human man with emotions. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, because I was talking to people about it and they were killing me. No, you don't understand. It's like, but that's my point. I can have empathy for something, but I don't have knowledge of it. I don't have a fear of any of that shit. To me, the way that my body reacts to that situation when I'm behind the curtain, and it's me and a bunch of guys, and we're going over, this is what we're going to do, da-da-da-da, my fucking body revs up. I don't shut down. I go up. Like I'm ready to like just play my music right fucking now. I just want to go. But I've been standing there with people who are I think that's where my empathy really started from. Because I've had opponents and I've had tag team partners who you can see it in their face. They just want to throw up right now. They just want to take a shit on themselves. They right now in that moment, they'd rather be anywhere else. They know when they go through the curtain, it's going to be a different feel, right? Once they go through the curtain and there's an audience there and lights in a ring, everything changes. They'll feel better. But I could see it on their faces that they're just like, because, and I feel bad to a degree because I could see them physically going into themselves. And then the match is over and then we go in the back and it was like nothing happened. Their assholes completely unpucker. But, yeah, it's just food for thought out there. I'm now ranging my comments to just me. I didn't need to see that, and I probably shouldn't have seen that. And by the way, they have followed up since, because she's done interviews after that where they brought up the same thing, where it's like, you have anxiety. She's like, yeah, like crippling anxiety. I'm like, now it's everywhere else. I don't need to be reading this. Anyway, speaking of not wanting to read some other stuff, let's go ahead and get into our main event.
It is now time for our main event.
In our main event of the evening, we're going to be talking about something that is going to break a lot of hearts. This is going to hurt some feelings, and it's all right. It's okay. Look, listen. If I've illustrated anything from this show today, I have empathy. I am empathetic. I feel for you. I really do. But we got to talk about it. So Karrion Kross and Scarlett, from what I understand, from what I've been reading, their contracts were up over the weekend. They were offered deals, but I guess the deals that were offered not up to snuff. They did not like the deals they were offered and decided not to sign. And so they are going to be free agents. Now, remember, for everybody who says the 90-day clause, 60-day clause, that is not in effect here. They did not get released in the middle of a contract. They did not quit during the middle of a contract. Their contract is over. They fulfilled their requirements. They could be on AEW. He could be on the AEW on Wednesday if he wants. But yeah, they're no longer with the company, and we're starting to see a gap, and it's becoming larger and larger every year, I feel. There is a difference now. I'm starting to see it now more than ever. Than the people who love wrestling and live completely on the internet, and then the people who go to the wrestling shows. There seems to be some disconnect there. And I made a comment before I even found out that they weren't going to re-sign him. I had made a comment when I found out that they were offering him a deal. This is before I found out that he wasn't going to take the deal and that he was officially leaving the company. I don't know if you saw the post. Steph saw the post and was cracking up. For everybody who was chanting hashtag We Want Kross and chanting at the shows We Want Kross, I had said on Facebook, I said, hey, you guys cashed in all your chips on Truth. Maybe next time. Okay? You guys already went in on one guy. You got him rehired. They put his ass right back in catering where he was before. And now you guys want to speak up on behalf of Kross. Should have saved it. Should have saved it. I don't know why you went to back for a 50-something-year-old man when you couldn't have went to back for Kross. You might have saved him. But it is what it is. You can't fight for fucking...
You don't think it's going to work? You don't think the chanting's going to work?
No. Now, I was surprised it worked for Truth. Because it never works. It never really works. Every now and again, maybe. But that's only when the interests align and they just bring that person back regardless. This was the first time, Truth was the first time I felt like it was the chance. And we said it on the show. I don't get it. I don't understand. What you wanted him back to do? What? He wasn't doing anything. And then they brought him back. He cut his hair on TV, and then he didn't do anything. They don't want him here. You say that you want him here, but you chanted Truth's name the whole time he was gone, which was maybe a week. Then they brought him back, and they put him in the closet like a coat, and none of y'all motherfuckers have said anything since. How many R-Truth chants have we heard since his return? None. None. They didn't actually want him back to do things. They just wanted him back. He was a blankie. He was a blankie. Just a comforting thing to see on television every now and again, juking and jiving. They didn't want him to turn heel. They didn't want Ron Killings to come back. They wanted Truth. The giggly old grandpa who walks around doing goofy shit. That's what they wanted. And Kross is not that. But we said it on the live. Didn't I say this on the live? I said I didn't get it. What does he do that stands out amongst everyone else? His promo is just as good as everybody else. His in-ring is just as good as everybody else. His psychology just as good as everybody else. There's nothing about him. And they agreed because they got rid of him. So
Jeez.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Joe said, "Oh, I like Kross." It was not able to give me a reason why. Just liked him. That's it. There wasn't anything real specific about him. And that seems to be the vibe with everybody. There were people online, hijack it. Hijack it. That's what we need to do. Everybody needs to hijack the show, right? And let's get it all over the TV. We want Kross. We want Kross. Let's get it. And then Monday Night Raw happened last night. Did you see Raw yesterday?
No.
Okay. You know how many chants Karrion Kross got yesterday on Raw?
All night?
From the beginning of the show to the end. You know how many times we got that chant?
I'm saying all night.
You heard it all. That's what you're voting? All night?
Yes, that's what it was. Was it all night?
It wasn't one goddamn time. It wasn't one goddamn time. And then when people went online, they were literally online saying, "Hey, everyone needs to do this. Everyone needs to chant." And then no one chanted. And then when the show was over and nobody chanted, everyone went, "Well, the reason why nobody chanted was," and then here comes the fucking excuses. Well, this happened, and then this happened, and then I think they were in Canada. They were in Canada, yes. Well, they were in Canada. That's why they didn't chant Kross's name. I thought he was over. Yeah, they were in this Century Videotron. That's what the fucking building is called, Century Videotron. They were in Quebec City, Quebec, Canada. And I'm like, well, that's why they didn't chant. They were in Canada, so he's not over everywhere. He's just over where? Certain parts of the States?
Maybe.
They probably would have chanted in Las Vegas. That's his hometown. New York probably would have done it just to be a troll. Chicago would have done it to be a troll. But would Des Moines, Iowa have chanted for Kross? Probably not. Topeka, Kansas? Wheeling, West Virginia? I don't know. Where did you stand on Kross again?
When we last spoke on him, I wanted to see him outside of. I wanted to see him in different feuds. I wanted to see him with someone else, something different. But you brought up the topic that his contract was coming up, so I'm like, all right, well, as long as he resigns and we get to see him with something different, I think he'll be fine. But I don't think this was the program for him and Sammy.
Yeah, now we're here.
I know they were building towards it, and it's fine, but Sammy's just one of those. I don't know. It's I rag on this guy all the time, and I really honestly don't like him. I just have fatigue with him, but I don't see Sammy as the guy who gets other people over because his gimmick is the underdog, and underdogs don't get people over. So I don't really see this as the feud to build him. I don't think this did anything for him.
No. And now we're hearing from
I mean, I'm right? Because they didn't resign him. So
yeah, exactly. There's your proof right there. They did not want him there anymore. And I can only assume that the only reason they gave him a low ball offer at all was to acknowledge the chance. And if they lowballed him, enough of a low ball for him to turn it down, because according to him, even now as we speak, he still wants to be in WWE. That video I sent you, I got to watch a bunch of it. I didn't watch the whole thing from beginning to end, but I seen at least 70% of it, and a lot of the theme of that video is I don't want to leave here. I grew up wanting to be here. So if someone wants to be there, the only way that I would see WWE giving him a lowball offer is if they really, really don't want him there. And the only reason I could see them not really, really wanting him there is if he's not getting the opportunity that he wants and he's making them fucking miserable because of it. I could see it where he's just every day with a fucking attitude because it's just like...
Thinks he's a top dog, but he's not earning the top dog spot.
It's not really about earning the top spot, because if you look at just solely work and the response from the audience, he's at least earned an opportunity for a chance to prove it. So as evidence of this, Logan Paul on his podcast stated that he was shocked by the lowball offer, because Logan had thought that Karrion was on a roll, and if everybody remembers correctly, before they sicked Kross on Sammy, Kross was talking and feuding with AJ, and they were having killer matches, no pun intended, and Logan had said that he was asked and had no problem with the AJ Logan Paul match at WrestleMania being a triple threat with Karrion Kross. Because remember, that's also Karrion's hometown. It was like, this is going to be great for the match. They said no. And he wasn't even booked on the show at all in his hometown of Las Vegas. So they didn't all the evidence points to they did not want him there anymore. And the only reason I could see them having a commodity like that, with that look that they've invested in before, in front of these audiences that apparently are very vocal about wanting to see him, the only way that I could see, because I've seen this before. You know where I've seen this before? This is the treatment that Punk used to get back in the day. Punk would go out there, he'd kill it, great promos, great match, buried every single fucking time. And the reason for that is because he would rub motherfuckers the wrong way. He wouldn't shut the fuck up about where he feels he should be positioned. And I still say to this day, and I dare anybody to prove me wrong, that promo that Karrion Kross cut after WrestleMania, the one that went viral, where he was cussing and he called himself Killer Kross, like he was trying to have a pipe bomb moment. That was him on some third-party show, not affiliated with WWE. He was trying to have a viral moment. And for most people, they looked at that and they said, oh, that's his pipe bomb moment. I'm becoming a fan. That's great work. I feel in my gut that WWE officials saw that and said, done.
He went rogue.
Finished. He went rogue. Say what you want about Punk's pipe bomb promo. It was part of the script. They factored it in. Steve Austin's promo, they factored it in. Triple H's promo, they factored it in. Every time some guy on the program had a moment where you think...
The Rock's promo.
Any one of those standout moments that you think was a shoot or, oh, he's going off script, I promise you, even though the words might be off the top of their head, WWE planned on that. It was part of the program. It was part of the plan. He did this shit on his own. And the shit that he did on his own was basically, essentially taking the company to task simply for not booking him on a show in his hometown. Yes, it's WrestleMania, but it's still his hometown. He felt he should have been on the show, if for no other reason, just because of his connection to that city. And that's, I've been telling people, in my eyes, that was the end of him in WWE's mind. We can't control this guy. He keeps running his fucking mouth. So that's it. We're not gonna invest in this guy at a top level when we can't trust him. We don't know that if we give him the ball and say, here, we'll put you on top And the minute that we decide, okay, we're going to switch off, put somebody else on top, bring you back a few steps, that he's not going to fucking have a tantrum about it. Because that's what that promo really was. It was a tantrum. That's what it came across as to some people. He went off script. He did his own thing. And there it is. In my eyes, I feel like he was done then. It was the fan support that kept him afloat in that contract all the way to the end. And then to give him a lowball offer, they didn't want him there. They didn't want him there. So now here's the opportunity. Right? He's such a fucking creative genius. Let's see what he comes up with. Because anywhere else that he goes, aside from TNA, and he's not going to TNA. TNA is not going to sign him based alone on WWE's relationship. They're not going to ruin their relationship with WWE for fucking Karrion Kross. It's not going to happen. So wherever he winds up, he's going to have creative control. So let's fucking see it. That's all I'm saying. I've put that out for every superstar that left WWE. Everybody pitched a fit. Why they fired Dakota Kai? They didn't want her anymore. This shit is not entitled to you. I know that you work hard to get to WWE, and I've met people who've done the grind and got there to the WWE. I've met a bunch of them. And all of them will tell you the same thing. You work hard to get to WWE. But when you get to WWE, you try to make as much money as you can while you're there because it will not last forever. It's not your job for life simply because you earned the opportunity to be there the first time. You have to plan for when it doesn't work out because it won't. It won't. Not everyone gets the retirement match. Not everyone gets the retirement tour. Not everybody is John Cena. You go to WWE, you work as much as you can until they are tired of you, and then they get rid of you. That's every fucking place ever. You're not entitled to be there just because you made it. So he's going to have an opportunity. We've had people leave WWE and do a good job, and then we've had people leave WWE and because
they made the right choice.
They have all kinds of talent in the pipeline. They don't need anyone. I can name maybe 6 people off the top of my head that are key players that I'm pretty sure, push come to shove, they're going to want to do everything they can to keep them. But outside of that, the rest of the 180 people that are on the roster, you could be gone tomorrow, bro, with no reason. Because some of these people that got released, they'll tell you, I was shocked. I was just in the main event like yesterday, and now I'm on the unemployment line. I don't know what the fuck happened. Is what it is. It is what it is. Karrion Kross and his wife, Scarlett, great package. They'll make money somewhere. They'll fall on their feet. But it is what it is, man. You can't just continuously keep living your life thinking, all right, I made it. That's it. It's like sports, too. How many people you've seen, they bust their ass to get to the NFL or get to the NBA, and they're the best at what they do at every level they go to, and then they go to the NBA or the NFL or NHL or whatever, and they're like the 11th or 10th guy on the roster. And then they become journeymen. Next thing you know, it's 5-6 years in their pros, and they made a couple $100,000, maybe $1 million or $2 million, and that's it. They're done. They become fucking real estate agents after that. That's what it is. They were good enough to get to the show, but they're not great enough to be at the head of the show. It happens. There are more people who failed in WWE than people who succeeded. You're not in bad company. A lot of great people. A lot of people who transferred, who were big stars in other companies who came to WWE and couldn't do it. Diamond Dallas Page is like a 4-time world champion in WCW. He was a European champion in WWE. It happens. It happens. Yeah. It's not guaranteed to anybody. It just is what it is. I wish them the best of luck. I hope personally that he is able to go out here and show people. That's what I want. That's what Cody did. That's what Drew did. That's what Bobby Lashley did. There's a lot of people who they were told, we got nothing for you. They left, They made something, and they brought that something to WWE, and they all became WWE champion. So there's opportunity. He's been fired once before and brought back. This is his second time being fired. Not fired, actually. This time he wasn't fired. The contract was up, but still. So, any points on Karrion Kross?
I mean, we've seen it. Like everything you just said, we've seen it happen. You gave great examples of those who can do it. So if it is his, if it truly is his, I want to be here, it's not over. There's one thing Hunter has proved is it's not personal, it's business. And if you can bring me back some business, I'm going to give you some business.
If you give him something he can sell.
One cool thing about the thing that we watched, the Unreal, is his conversation about Punk. No, I'm not. He's the same person. No, I'm not fucking dealing with him. Not dealing with him. Not dealing with him. And then one moment we both talked to each other and he was like, Punk said, I think he's different. I said, I think he's different. Let's do fucking business. Yeah. And that's it.
And they made money.
There's no better place in the world right now if you're a wrestler. WWE, I don't think, has been any more accessible to anyone who can bring business.
Yep.
That's up to you because they don't make business people anymore. This is a new era. You have to come with some heat. They'll put the rocket on your back, but you need to come with some heat. And if you don't have it, I'm going to release you into the wild. Go find it, bring it back, and we will do business.
Absolutely. With no issues. Zero issues.
Zero.
And I hate
motivating because at the end of the day, you wrestlers are fucking entrepreneurs. Like this is part of the journey of being a wrestler.
Yes.
Is like WWE isn't something you can just apply to get in, be trained, and work. This isn't anything new. The problem is that there was kind of like a gatekeep in front of it. If you didn't have the look, regardless of what you had behind you, you couldn't get in. Nowadays, if you got some shit behind you, you're probably going to get in. So you just now, it should be more motivating today to be a wrestler if you want to get to that level, because if you can put together a package, you're probably going to get in. So
yeah,
let's see what he does.
Was it Tony Mamaluke? I think it was Tony Mamaluke. We were sitting down, hanging out one day. It was me, Mamaluke. Was it Homicide? I can't remember. It was It was me, a few students, and then Tony Mamaluke and somebody else. Can't remember who it was. But the important part was Tony. Tony told me one time. He goes, work ethic, passion, a love for the business. Those are all things that you need to succeed in it. And those things can get you to the WWE. But once you get to the WWE, none of those things matter anymore. You still need them to compete and to stay in WWE, but that's not what they're looking at. They're looking at the package as a whole. You're a product. That's it. You consider yourself a wrestler. You're not. You're a product. And they're in the business of selling products. If they have a product that they can sell, then that's what it is. I get a lot of shit from people because I crap all over Lyra Valkyria. And I saw something today that wowed the fuck out of me. Because I saw somebody posted, I get a lot of shit in my recommended. It's all, my whole YouTube shit is all wrestling, right? So I get shit from all over the place. There's this guy who does evolution of entrances. He just makes compilations. He shows what your entrance looked like in 2004, 2005, like each year how you evolved in your entrances. And sometimes he goes further back. Like, for instance, Kevin Owens is a WWE superstar, but he'll start from the Ring of Honor days or his days at PWG, and he puts in the entrances all in the same video. Somebody put together a Lyra Valkyria video of when she was on the Indies, what her entrance looked like all the way to the way it looks today. And it's quite an evolution. Obviously, once the WWE production gets a hold of you, of course it's going to look phenomenal. But what I saw from her indie entrances all the way to now, while the costume and the gear and the presentation looked better, each cascading year, her energy just got lower. I saw her earlier, because you know what my complaint about her is that there's nothing really special about her. Blank face, blank expression. She almost looks lost every time she does something. I saw the earlier footage. I never got a chance to see her indie stuff. I watched her earlier footage. She was animated as fuck. I said, oh my God, why is this woman not on television? She was funny, and she made faces, and she all those moves you see now, clean, crisp execution, all that stuff. But she had a personality. She had funny music. There was one year when she came out, and there was like a dance to it or something. She had personality. I was like, what the fuck? So the bird shit they're making her do on purpose? Because she had the same name on the indies. Her name was just the Valkyrie. They came up with Valkyria and Lyra, all this stuff later. On the indies, she was just Valkyrie. And she had all this personality. I said, where the fuck is that? Why is she on the big show looking and acting like this? I couldn't get it. But, again, I have to remind myself, it's the machine. Right? It's the machine. That's why when people get upset, well, why did they release this person? They ain't even give them a chance to show what they can really do. Because they got rid of them because they couldn't do what they asked them to do. It doesn't matter what they can do. Can you do what I am asking you to do? If you can't do what I'm asking you to do, then it doesn't fucking matter what you can do.
Right.
Then you gotta go. You're taking up a spot. I need to bring in somebody who can do what I asked them to fucking do. I always bring up the Seth Rollins thing. When was it Terry Taylor? I forgot who it was that album said. You're excellent at French. We speak English here. It's a completely different ball game. What you did over there, phenomenal. But we need you to do something else here. And again, the fans, well, why did you hire them? You saw what they did over there. You hired them, and then you brought them in here to do something else. Why is that? Because what I saw them do gave me an idea of what they could potentially do with something I want to do here. That's why I hired them. And then I hired them and found out, oh, they can't do this. So then I got rid of them. But they're so good at this, I don't give a fuck. I got 6 guys that do that already. I need him to do this. If he can't do this, then he doesn't belong here. And that's why I think it was Jericho. Jericho said that a true talent is the talent that can do anything. Anything. Not something really, really good. Everything. You can put him in any spot and it works. Think of all the praise that we give people like Seth Rollins and all the top guys, right? A little comedy, a little seriousness, a little drama, a little intensity, a little anger, a little happiness. They're all over the emotional spectrum. So you can plug them in different places. If all this quote-unquote person does is wrestle good, it doesn't help anybody. Helps nobody. So, Karrion Kross is going to go and do his thing. I support everything that he's got going on. It looks like he's got a hell of a chip on his shoulder. He looks pissed. He looks motivated. Good. Channel it. Let's see what you got. Make these motherfuckers. Because I'll tell you what, they didn't fire him this time. I keep saying that. They fired him the first time. They let his contract expire the second. If he was to do something to get rehired on the third, Jesus Christ, give this man the belt. Because he is busting his ass. He is trying so hard. But let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. So, as a heads up, we are recording this on August the 12th. This will be releasing on August 13th. Next week, I will be leaving the country, which is basically a technicality because where I'm going, I can still see the country. But we're going to Canada. We're going to Canada next week, so I will be traveling. I will be on the road. So we will not be able to get together for a full-on episode, but the YouTube channel is still on and popping. We're still gonna have our around the clock uploads. There's still going to be content going all week. Tomorrow, as we're recording this now, I will begin the editing process tonight so that tomorrow at work, I'm going to set videos for release pretty much from tomorrow, the 13th, all the way till about, I want to say the 24th. About 2 weeks worth of programming I'm going to try to do in one day. I'm dedicated to this. Because after my vacation, I'm driving to Canada Sunday. Bullshit. I'm driving to somewhere else in New York on Sunday to do the Museum of Play on Monday. So all the stuff that we've been talking about with the Video Game Hall of Fame and all that stuff, I'll be seeing the place in person on Monday. And then Canada for the other days. When we drive back from Canada on Friday, I'll be able to sleep, but then the next day I got to drive to Connecticut for a fucking show. And so I'm going to be obliteratedly tired. So Sunday I may sit at the computer and do some more editing. I don't know yet. But that's what I'm doing next week. So we won't have the usual sit-down podcast like we're doing right now next week. But we will be back. We will be back on the 26th there. So right toward the tail end of the summer. I spent today editing clips. I took a lot of our Game Changer conversation. And you remember the Game Changer documentary that we watched? I took a lot of that and chopped that up, ready to go for release. I'm taking 2 segments from this show to chop up, and there's some Marvel stuff that I have chopped up. So there's a lot of different variations of conversation that's going to be shared on the YouTube, on the social media between now and the vacation. So thank you guys for all of the support. Oh, I think I sent this to you yesterday, right? Yesterday when I contacted you, I said that we had about 17,000 views just this month alone. That number has now jumped up to 20,000. This was yesterday. I told you it was 17,000. It's jumped up to 20. And our subscribers have jumped. We've gotten 27 new subscribers in the last few weeks, which is a greater than 999% increase from the month before. So the YouTube channel is going fucking crazy good. Also, as an announcement, for you longtime listeners, the podcast has been on Podbean for years. Obviously, this year we started focusing more on YouTube. So I've been editing a lot and posting the show on YouTube. The editing is over now. I will no longer be editing the shows for YouTube because I do not have to. Apparently, YouTube has finally approved me to have my feed from Podbean send it directly to YouTube for me. Ooh. So I don't have to edit the full show and put it into YouTube manually. Podbean will do it for me moving forward. So for those of you who haven't had a chance to listen to any of the older episodes, starting I think tomorrow, because I'm still uploading the RSS feed stuff, starting tomorrow, all episodes of Orsini's Uncensored Mind will be available on YouTube. All of them. All of the previous episodes from 1 to today's episode, will be available on the YouTube channel tomorrow. If not tomorrow, which is Wednesday the 13th, check it again Thursday the 14th. For sure, it'll all be up. And so there's never been more access. There's never been more of an opportunity to check out the podcast than it is right now. I know next week sucks to take the break, but I'm going to be dedicating that time to the family. I'm not going to do that to them. So, but it's going to be a good time. So thank you guys so much. Dave, thank you. Co-hosting the show there, bud. putting your stuff up there, people love to split the likes on your comments. Apparently, people were very split on your haircut. No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
What does that mean?
What it means is, hold on, let me pull it up because I had it over here for a second ago. It was, never mind. You got 100% now. It's like 10 or 13 likes on your hairdo. Deceive Dave rocks a new do. That was the clip where Joe's like, "What did you get, lice?" You were like, "Nah, I had a Britney moment or something." So, that's over 200 likes. 200 views, I should say. 200 views on the hairdo and some other stuff. There's been some really cool stuff exploding here. Vince loving the Divas exploded, almost 1,000 on that. Something involving me in the finish. I don't remember what that one. Our Hulk Hogan conversation. A lot of people jumping on that one. There was Did we all forget what happened in L.A. on his last?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
No, pause. Because Dave said he wanted the comments straight from the horse's mouth here. Our Hulk Hogan clip here. It says, "The Silver Dome, brother." From Vin. I'll just say Vin. There's some letters and numbers here. But yeah, there's a lot of people chiming in. We got some likes, couple of dislikes, but that's all right. I'll take those. I have empathy. I have empathy for people, who feel differently than we may feel on certain things. You know what I'm saying? Somebody thumbed down our Squid Game season 1 to 2 transition. When we were talking about Squid Games, and I said that I went back and watched it season 2 and 3 together in a row. Mm-hmm. There's no likes. It's just one guy who just said, did not like.
This shit is ass.
This shit is ass. So, oh man. So thank you guys. I'm gonna go get something to eat. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for downloading. Thank you guys for sharing. And of course, without a doubt, thank you guys for enjoying. I am going on vacation. Check the channel I'm going to be doing some stuff at Niagara Falls for the channel and for social media. So check that out. We'll see you guys in about 2 weeks. We'll see you guys. See ya.
Like drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.